Hi there. A few weeks ago, I was in Los Angeles for the Three Principles Global Community Annual Conference. I was deeply touched by many of the presentations, and one in particular stuck with me. Mara Gleason and Grunde Olsen, who created the One Solution event, and I'll include a link to that, were talking about the feedback they got early in the project. One solution, the notion of one solution is that underlying every global challenge, really every human problem, is a misunderstanding of mind. And that insight into how human beings create their experience is the one solution. It's the key that unlocks all other solutions. Well, it's an audacious claim. I happen to agree with it. But when they came up with it, 5 months before they were to do a conference. First of all, do you do a global conference for the first time with only 5 months lead time? Nobody does that. Well, Mara and Eirik did. And they got lots of feedback about everything from the quotes they used on the website. I submitted a comment about one of their quotes, to the font they used, to how much lead time there was, to the name of the event. Lots of feedback. They also got lots of support, but they got lots of corrective feedback. And at one point, as Mara tells it, she was getting wrapped up in that corrective feedback. And Eirik said something like, I'm not willing to get hung up on the form of this thing. I'm not willing to spend my time massaging and correcting and editing and critiquing and worrying about the form of what I've already done. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep creating. I'm going to keep pulling, and now these are my words based on what I heard them say, pulling from the formless, from that infinite source of creativity. Keep moving and see what happens. And I got it. The form is never right. Because it doesn't make sense, actually, to think of what's been created as right or wrong, as accurate or inaccurate, or true or false. When you're creating something, to critique it as you go, or to get hung up in that critique, it can be useful to assess and critique and move on, but to get hung up on it, to stop because of it, is like stopping a flower in the midst of its bloom because somehow it's not right. Our lives, we are like blooming flowers. It doesn't make sense to critique ourselves in that right, wrong, good, bad, accurate, inaccurate way. Any binary sort of critique overlooks the fact that we're part of an unfolding phenomenon. And the way to get better, if better even makes sense, is to stay in the blooming process. So yes, I think there's value in assessment. There's value in evaluation. But only when we feed it back into the creative process with generosity, lightness of spirit, and perhaps never when we let it stop us in our tracks. Because who would think of stopping a flower in mid-bloom because somehow it had gotten blooming wrong? I'd love to hear what you think. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.